Hi guys, my name is Dr. Shalman Dreamer from Light Chiropractic and Wellness, and today I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite concepts and ideas, and that I would love for you to know and share. So we'll start with a question. Imagine for 1 second that you want to send a glass of champagne or glasses of champagne to a very, very volatile place. I'm just throwing a place, the border between Iraq and Syria, where there's a lot of war happening. Other than the address, what do you need to put on the box? It's a glass of champagne. It can break. Would you put, other than the address, would you agree that you'll have to put the word fragile? You'll have to put fragile on it. Now, the reason you'll have to put the word fragile is because fragile means, if we put it into a bit of a scientific word, don't fall asleep, it is something that is negatively affected by volatility. So something that is negatively affected by volatility, which means anytime there is some instability in the environment, it can affect the item negatively. We'll call it fragile. Now the big question is, what's the opposite of fragile? Most people say resilient, strong, hard, and that would be the natural answer. But if you think about it, the opposite of something that is negatively affected by volatility is something that is positively affected by volatility. Say, okay, Shalom, well, why is that such a big concept? Because if something is positively affected by volatility, it is something that will actually we wanted to have be mishandled. We wanted to have stresses, and we want things to happen to it because it actually gets better and stronger as a result of of those stresses. So if we think of a box with that says fragile and it says handle with care, something that is anti-fragile, that's a name for it, or it was named, anti-fragile, is something that we wanted to be mishandled as much as possible. Now, so if we look at the difference between something that is fragile and something that is anti-fragile, fragile is something that will suffer from volatility. We basically if something is fragile, we want it to be safe, we want tranquility, we want to avoid mistakes. But with something that is anti-fragile, we want to have as much disorder as possible. We want to make little mistakes because little mistakes will allow us to get the thing better. Now, why am I telling you all of that? Because most of the things that we are interacting with them on day to day basically can be named as complex systems. So complex systems are systems that have many components that are all interacting with each other and have multiple kind of scales, and as you are looking through them, they're actually having unique kind of behavior. Examples: the human body. So the human body is a complex system. It goes from cells into tissues, organs, and all the way to us. And each one of those systems interact with each other and have their own special behavior. And in the end, you have this very complex system like the body. The same thing can happen with economics, finance, psychology, human relations. Multiple things that we are interacting with them are not linear systems. It's not A leads to B, but it's actually multiple things interacting with each other. So in the slides that we're providing, you can see, Laura told me not to, but I'm going to do it anyway. You can see that we have for example, with economics, multiple things interacting with each other. One little thing can affect the rest, and that's a complex system. So, in complex systems, what happens is that before that we need to add one more concept called hormesis. Hormesis is the idea that for something to be helpful, we need it to be just enough stress, not too much, not too little, because if it's too little, it's not really stressful. If it's too much, it can be harmful. We just want that sweet spot of stress. So for example, if I go to the gym to lift weights, if I'm lifting 1 gram, that makes no difference. If I lift 450 kilograms, it's not going to be very good for my health. I might be crushed underneath it. So I need to have the perfect sweet spot where it's stressful enough for my body so my body can actually get better and stronger. So how can we apply this idea of anti-fragility? Many ways. Number one, challenges allow us to grow, evolve, and find hidden talents. As you know, when we are, if the body is a complex system, when we go to the gym, we get stronger as a result of that. Yoga, Pilates, all of those physical stresses are actually making our body stronger and better. The same thing with relationship, romantic relationship or relationship with friends. Many times having the stresses are making our relationship better. So having challenges are actually helpful. We get better. Another example is dyslexia. So a lot of, I think that 10% of the population has dyslexia, but 35% of all entrepreneurs are dyslexic. And the reason for that is because they have difficulties, they actually find original ways to overcome them, which makes them better at thinking on their feet, being original thinkers. A lot of people think of post-traumatic stress syndrome, but psychologists found another phenomenon which is called post-traumatic growth syndrome. People that had difficult things happening to them, for things like cancer, to family events, things that happen in their childhood. Because of those events, they actually got better and stronger. One example that comes into mind is the fact that big ratio of the presidents of the United States were actually sons of single moms, which is very interesting. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton are examples of that. Now, if we're applying it to the body, your body is very smart. Your body has that innate intelligence that knows how to help the body to grow and evolve when you're doing the right things for it. So an example is an adjustment. An adjustment is applying some kind of like stressor for the body, but the nervous system is getting better as a result of that. Exercise is another example. Fever, when the body is going through fever, that can help the immune system to function better as a result of that. The same with fasting. Reducing the amount of food that you're eating, fasting for a while, can actually help your body get better. And the other concept that is really interesting to think about is that when you have a acute injury, let's say you had a car accident, the body loses the ability to help itself because it's kind of broken. But when we are looking at things like chronic care, when there is a condition that is there for a while, many times if you can help the body to and give it the right things, the body can start healing from that much better. Now, the number one message I would like to add to all of that is many times we're trying to control the future so difficult things and stresses won't happen to us, but because of that, we basically avoiding the ability to become anti-fragile. So we should welcome those challenges. So to all the control freaks out there, including me, stop trying to control the future. Allow yourself to flow, allow yourself to experience, allow yourself making mistakes so you can actually become a better version of yourself. So that was all. Thank you very much for listening, and I hopefully will see you soon. Bye.